We also want to make sure that we have a president and a vice president who will wake up every morning to protect your health care. We know that all across this great city, more than 200,000 people got health care because of the Affordable Care Act, and hundreds of thousands more had protections against a pre-existing condition. The only ones who will protect those Americans are Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. No question about it. So, Philly, I know you can do it. You've done it for me in the past. You've done it for presidential candidates and so many other candidates. Let's get out and vote and win. God bless you.
Please welcome the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, Glenn "Doc" Rivers.
What's up, everybody? I have a question for everyone. Is Philadelphia where great things happen? Is Philadelphia where great things happen? We have so much at stake, everybody. We have so much to do still. I'm coming up to you as your coach today. How about that? So I want you to understand this. We're in the third quarter. The fourth quarter is Tuesday. We have to close the game on Tuesday. That's what our job is to do, for everybody to get out and vote, right? And all of you, my guess is that you voted already, correct? So your job now is to go find your family members, to go find your friends, and to go out and vote and help them vote and bring them to vote and tell them to bring somebody else. And it doesn't matter how long you have to wait in line. Don't leave that line Tuesday. If you're there for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3, don't leave that line. You stay the course. We're winners, right? We are winners, right? Well, winners don't give in. We're not going to be bullied. We're not going to be scared. No one's going to scare us. You know what bullies do? They start using scare tactics when they have nothing to run on, when they have nothing to say. They try to scare you. I'm telling you, be strong and be mighty and vote. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the two people we want to vote for, all right? So we need you to vote. America, let America love us, right? That's what we have to do. This is a country that needs to come together. We have to come together if we want to be great, everybody. And the only way we're going to come together is by Joe Biden being our president and Kamala Harris being our vice president. Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Let's go.
When I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. And while combing my hair now, and wondering what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever, ever, apart. Oh, how I love it together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only be heartbreak for me. I run for the bus stand, but while riding I think of us still. I say a little prayer for you. And at work I just take time, and all through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, ever, ever, stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever, apart. Oh, how I love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me. Nobody but me. Forever, ever, ever, stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever, apart. Oh, how I love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me.
Please welcome Keisha Davis, owner of Cakes by Denise.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can, and I wear my hair like this because I can.
Good evening, Philadelphia. My name is Keisha Davis. I'm going to take my mask off. My name is Keisha Davis. I am the co-owner of Denise's Bakery, along with my business partner, Cynthia Benton. Denise's Bakery has been a fixture in North Philadelphia since my aunt started the bakery in 1990. We've been known for our cakes and pastries, but we're mostly proud of our role in the community. At Denise's, we hire young people interested in baking and have served as a Philadelphia Job Corps site. Our small business doesn't just feed the people, it helps fuel our economy, puts people to work, and makes up the fabric of our community. But while we're looking out for our community, we often wonder who's looking out for us as well. Due to COVID-19, we were forced to close for 6 weeks. We've since reopened, but with large events like weddings and special events being canceled or scaled back, our business growth is uncertain, for sure. The reality is that the fate of our business is uncertain. So despite the economic loss and even greater human loss that Philadelphia has experienced during this pandemic, President Trump has yet to come up with a plan to help develop and support small businesses like ours and keep our communities safe. But the truth is, over the last 4 years, it's not even clear what President Trump has to do with us to help us in places like Philly and our small businesses, especially Black-owned businesses. President Trump has given huge tax cuts to corporations, ultra-wealthy, and while small businesses in Philly, we're still struggling just to keep our doors open. We can't go on like this, so we need a change. We have the power to make it by electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as our next president and vice president of the United States. Joe Biden understands that there's more to small businesses than meets the eye. And without them, our communities would lose jobs, our very own sense of self, our sense of community. That's what he has as a plan to help us recover from this crisis. and ensuring that every small business receives a seat at the table. They need to rehire their workers. We need to recover and restart and cover our expenses and ensure that there's aid that's distributed fairly across all businesses. Looking beyond this current moment, Joe Biden is going to finally give Black businesses a seat at the table by making historic investments in minority-owned small businesses. And instead of fanning the flames of racial division within our country, Joe Biden will work to bring our country together. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris believe in our communities, and this is our moment to elect leaders who actually want to see Philadelphia succeed. That's why we all need to get out and vote. Vote, vote. Make sure your friends vote, your neighbors, your family. Get out and vote. A victory for Joe Biden is a victory for us all. So let's make it happen. I'm excited to introduce the next president of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Hello, Philadelphia. This you call Philly strong. God love you all. Out in the rainstorm. Well, I want to thank you all. Keisha, thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you for how much you and your aunt have done for this city over the years. And Denise is a Philadelphia institution. And, you know, when young people you've monitored, you've mentored, and all the folks have come along, the way you invest in the community is inspiring. And, folks, this is the city where it all started, the birthplace of American democracy. Sounds corny, but it's real. That's why I set up my headquarters here. That's why we started here. Because we learned a long time ago, every generation has to fight to keep the democracy. I never believed we'd have to fight this hard, though. I never believed it'd be this much in jeopardy. We launched our campaign over on the Oval back in May 9, 2019. But, you know, what I said then, we've been through a lot since then. What I said then is even more true today. I said what we need is a president who's willing to lead, who will insist on dramatic change for our children's sake. The single most important thing we have to do is accomplish these things. In order to get them done, we have to defeat Donald Trump. Folks, I'm honored to have with me in that fight so many wonderful friends who are here tonight, including my good friend, and he's been a good friend. His dad was a friend, his mom's a friend, his wife's a friend, the whole family, because I'm from Scranton, senator from Scranton, a guy named Bobby Casey. He's a great friend. And I want to thank Congresswoman Scanlon. Let's send her back to the House on Tuesday. And to Vice Chair Street, the Pennsylvania Dems, City Council President Clark. And look, we've had so many of you for the energy you've poured into this election. And look, I want to also recognize one of the rising stars in our party, who's been breaking his neck for me for a long time and all day today, Malcolm Kenyatta. Kenyatta, you've been so honored to have your support throughout this campaign. And I also want to thank Philly Freeway for being here and performing. I know he's heartbroken. He's heartbroken tonight with the loss of his son. I know the pain of burying his son, and he does too now, unfortunately. And it means the world to me. He chose to be here because he thinks this election is that important. But I tell you what, you got to find purpose, because when you lose a child, you know, voting is the only way we can make the world better for our children, folks. And Doc Rivers, Jill and I grew up 76ers fan. Welcome to Philly, Doc. And let's bring it home on the court and in this campaign. I've been quoting Doc Rivers, a quote he made after the shooting of Jacob Blake on the campaign trail. He asked us to imagine what it takes for a black person to love his America as much as he does, and they do, and how it is the deep love for this country that so far for too long has never fully been recognized by the rest of the country. But I think the action, you know, there's two ways. I was with Barack yesterday, Florida. There's two ways people get inspired. They get inspired by inspiring leaders who do great things like Barack, and they get inspired by really bad leaders. I'm not being facetious. When they see the bad side. We need American leadership that seeks to de-escalate tensions, to open the lines of communication, and to bring us together, to heal, to hope. As president, that's precisely what I will try to do. Philadelphia, 2 more days. 2 more days. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has divided this nation. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has failed to protect this nation. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has fanned the flames of hate all across this nation. Millions of Americans have already voted, over 91 million. And millions more are going to vote in the days ahead. But there are still a lot of Pennsylvanians who haven't voted yet. We need every single one of you to get out and to vote on Tuesday. My message to you is simple. Pennsylvania is critical to this election. Last time Donald Trump won Pennsylvania, he won by 44 votes, 44,000 votes. Every single one of those votes matter. The power to change this country, not figuratively, is literally in the hands of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. Look, I don't care how hard Donald Trump tries. There's nothing that's going to stop the people of this nation from voting and voting overwhelmingly. And when America votes, America will be heard. And when America's heard, I believe the message is going to be clear. It's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home. We're done with the chaos, with the tweets, with the anger, the hate, the failure, the irresponsibility. We've got a lot of work to do. And if I'm elected your president, we're going to do it. We're going to act. We're going to act to get COVID under control. On day 1 of my presidency, I'll put in action the plan I've been talking about for months. Masking, social distancing, testing, tracing. A plan for the full and fair and free distribution of therapeutics and vaccine when we get one. Imagine where we'd be if this president just wore a mask instead of mocked it from the beginning. I can tell you this, and every major health expert agrees with me, I can tell you this, we wouldn't have 9 million confirmed cases of COVID in this nation. We wouldn't have over 230,000 dead, almost 9,000 here in Pennsylvania. We wouldn't be seeing those new record numbers of cases we're seeing every day now. Nearly 100,000 cases nationwide on Friday alone. More than 2,600 of them here in Pennsylvania. It was an all-time high. We wouldn't be facing another 200,000 deaths in the next few months as the doctors predict if we don't change course. Folks, we make up 4% of the world's population. But guess what? We make up over 20% of the deaths. This president knew back in January how deadly this virus was. You may have heard me say the intelligence community briefed him on it. He said, no, I never read the briefing. Well, that didn't surprise me, that he doesn't read. But, he was lying. He knew how bad it was. He hid it from the American people. He went on record. He went on record with a leading journalist. He said he knew. He knew how dangerous it was. But he lied to the American people. He knew it wasn't going to disappear. But he kept telling us a miracle's coming. It'll be gone by Easter. Goes on and on and on. He's repeatedly had the gall to suggest, just the other day, that American doctors, people who have been on the front lines of this crisis for 9 months, along with nurses and so many others, he suggested these doctors are falsely inflating the deaths due to COVID because they want to make money. Think about that. No, I really mean it. Think about it. The people of this nation have suffered and sacrificed for 9 months. None more so than our doctors and our frontline healthcare workers. This president questioning their character, their integrity, their commitment to their fellow Americans. It's more than offensive. It's a disgrace. He's a disgrace to say it. Especially coming from a president who's waved the white flag of surrender on the virus. His chief of staff last week said, we're going to do nothing about the virus. It's here. Our frontline healthcare workers have given all their best to this virus. Everything to beat it. Many of them died. But we have a president who's given up. I'll never give up, nor will America give up. We'll never wave the flag of surrender. We're going to beat this virus. We're going to get it under control. But the truth is, this is not hyperbole, the truth is, to beat the virus, we first got to beat Donald Trump. He's the virus. Think about it. This guy, Trump, keeps telling us what a great job and all the jobs he's created as president, what a great president he is. Well, did you know that Obama and I created more jobs in the last 3 years of our administration than the president did in his first 3 years of his, before the pandemic? And how about this? Did you know Donald Trump is going to be the first president in 90 years who's going to finish his 4 years in office with fewer jobs under his leadership than when he started the presidency? First one in 90 years. That's a lot of presidents. That's a lot of crises. But only Trump is going to have fewer jobs at the end of his presidency than when he started. You see, I understand something Donald Trump doesn't. Wall Street did not build this country. You did. The working people of America built this country. The middle class built it. And unions built the middle class. Folks, I believe, from the bottom of my heart, if you know anything about me, I believe we should be rewarding work, not wealth in this country. Under my plan, this is the God's truth, if you make less than $400,000 a year, you're not going to pay a penny more in taxes, not 1 penny, I promise you. But the wealthiest and the biggest corporations, 91 of the Fortune 500 who pay 0 tax, federal income tax, they're going to start to pay their fair share. Because, folks, why should a firefighter, an educator, a nurse, why should they pay a higher tax rate than the super wealthy, which you do, by the way? Why should you pay more in taxes than Donald Trump? Remember, the only tax return we got, he paid $750 in federal income tax. How about you? And you know what he said? When it was pointed out last year, he said, well, that's because I'm smart. I know how to game the system. Just as we want as a president knows how to game the system and lay it all on you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to end this crisis. It's time that we take that money that he should be paying and help you protect your health care, help you put your kid in school, help you pay your taxes. Look, we will act to protect your health care. Trump and our Republican friends just jammed through a Supreme Court nominee. You know why? They've been trying since the day we passed the act. They've been trying to destroy the Affordable Care Act. If they get their way, an estimated 1 million Pennsylvanians will lose their health insurance. Folks, no, listen. He's going into court, whether he wins or loses. He's going into court 7 days after Election Day to wipe out the Affordable Care Act. Already, because of his incompetence, 10 million people have lost their employer-based insurance because they've gone out of business. 10 million. In addition to that, he wants to take away the other 20 million people who got covered by Obamacare. 100 million Americans will lose their protections for pre-existing conditions, including 5 million of you here in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump thinks health care is a privilege. I think health care is a right. Folks, I'll not only restore Obamacare, I'll build on it so we can keep your private insurance if you choose to, or choose a Medicare-like option. We'll increase subsidies to lower your premiums, deductibles, out-of-pocket spending, reduce prescription drug prices by 60%. And say, Joe, how are you going to do that? By making sure he and the multimillionaires start paying their taxes so you don't have to spend as much. And by the way, it's been confirmed by all places. Wall Street, Moody's on Wall Street said Biden's plan will create 18.6 million jobs, good-paying jobs. Will increase the GDP by $1 trillion more. We're going to make sure we keep protections for the people with pre-existing conditions. Meanwhile, some has gone unnoticed with all his lies and all the misrepresentation. He has announced that, in fact, if he gets elected, he's going to change the way we fund Social Security. The actuary of Social Security, full-time at the Social Security Administration, says if Donald Trump's plan, were he to be reelected, gets put in place, it will bankrupt Social Security by 2023. It's a guy with a lot of heart, isn't he? It's the guy. Tell that to your parents and grandparents. Look, folks, you have my word. I'll protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and make sure your health care is covered. But folks, look, he's done a lot of really stupid, mean things. But I think there's nothing worse that he's said or done than the way he's spoken about those of you who served in uniform. Guess what, man? He talks about you being losers and suckers. My son, Beau Biden, who was Attorney General of the state of Delaware, gave up that job to volunteer to go to Iraq for a year, won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal in Iraq. He was not a loser. He was not a sucker. He was a patriot. Just like your sons, your daughters, your parents, your grandparents have served. This president portrays himself as a tough guy, macho man. Give me a break. But this is a president who won't even stand up to Vladimir Putin for putting bounties on the head of American soldiers serving in Afghanistan. He's too scared to challenge him. He's Putin's puppy. That's who he is. Donald Trump's not strong. This makes me angry. Donald Trump's not strong. He's weak. He commands virtually no respect on the international stage. Think about this. When's the last time you ever heard of a president showing up to the UN and being laughed at by the entire international community? A president who showed up, I'm not making this up, a president who showed up at our NATO meeting where our NATO allies, the heads of state of our NATO nation, were making fun of him. This is a president who not only doesn't understand sacrifice, he doesn't understand courage, the physical courage it takes to serve in uniform. Maybe that's why the 6 generals, most 4-stars and admirals who worked in the administration have since left and said he's unfit to be the commander-in-chief. That's never happened before. And that's why the former Joint Special Operations Commander, General Stanley McChrystal, former Commander of Special Operations in the SEALs, who oversaw bin Laden's raid, Admiral Bill McCraven, along with 22 other 4-stars, endorsed me, saying they support me and they trust me as their commander-in-chief. Look, you have my word, I will support our military. They're our backbone, they're our sinew, they're our life. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to support them. And look, and we have to vote. We have to vote to meet this climate crisis. You know, Donald Trump, when he hears climate, he thinks hoax. I see it being about jobs, health care, and safety. The impacts of climate change too often fall disproportionately on communities of color. We're going to make sure communities that benefit by the hundreds of billions of dollars in federal investment in infrastructure and climate change. We're going to create local jobs, rebuild our roads, fill our sidewalks, install broadband, create spaces to live in, work in, and play in safely. He doesn't get it. The West is burning. More of our forests have been lost in the combined territory of Connecticut and Rhode Island combined. Superstorms in the Midwest, wiping out whole communities, flooding. On the East Coast, you know what's happening. We have a circumstance where in the South, we find ourselves with more hurricanes, more vicious hurricanes. When the president was told that's because the waters of the Atlantic are opening up or warming up, you know what he said? Well, maybe we could stop it by dropping some atomic bombs on them. Oh, by the way, it's the same guy. You'll appreciate this being from Philly. The same guy who said the problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Stable genius. Stable genius. Look, we'll act to deliver on racial justice as well. Protesting is not burning or looting or violating and can't be tolerated, and it won't. But these protests are a cry for justice. The names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, Walter Wallace Jr., they're not going to be forgotten soon. Not by me, not by you, not by the American people. And they'll inspire a new wave of justice in America. Folks, we can do this. There's nothing beyond our capacity. So honk if you want America to lead again. Honk if you want to trust Americans to begin to trust each other again. And honk if you want America to be united again. Folks, we can't afford 4 more years of Donald Trump. I believe this country has to come together. When I announced, not far from here, my candidacy, I said I was doing it for 3 reasons. One, to restore the soul, decency in the White House, the soul of America. I said I was running to rebuild the backbone of America, hard-working middle-class folks, to bring everybody along this time. And I said I was running to unite America. People said, Joe, you used to be able to do that, but it can't be done anymore. Well, if it can't be done anymore, we're in trouble. I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I'll govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who don't support me as those who do. That's the job of a president, a duty to care for everyone. No red states, no blue states, the United States. So please vote. If you have an absentee ballot, get it to a drop box as soon as you can. Or if you can, vote on Election Day. Make a plan. Go to iwillvote.com/PA. Folks, I'll never forget what John Kennedy said. My colleagues in the Senate used to kid me because I remind them of it. Why he's going to the moon. He said, because this is America. And in America, we refuse to postpone opportunities. Well, I refuse to postpone the incredible opportunities available in America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. There's no limit to America's future. The only thing that can tear America apart is America itself. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has been trying to do from the beginning. Dividing us in America. Pitting us, Americans, against one another based on race, religion, gender, ethnicity, national origin. Wrong. That's not who we are. Look, everybody knows who Donald Trump is. Let's show them who we are. We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. And yes, we choose truth over lies. So folks, it's time to stand up. Take back our democracy. We can do this. We're better than this. We're so much better. The United States of America is who we are. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Folks, one more thing. Every time I'd walk out of my grandpa's house up in Scranton, he'd yell, Joey, keep the faith. And my grandmother, if she's alive, she knows, she'd say, Joey, no, spread it. Go spread the faith. We can do this.